Swagato Mahakal ki Samachar. Yeah, welcome to Mahakal ki Samachar. I am your host, and today we're bringing you a special, highly detailed news explainer covering some absolutely monumental shifts happening right now. We're going to look directly at the facts, the hard data, and the primary sources to really understand the massive political and economic developments that are reshaping our world today. We have a lot of ground to cover in this in-depth broadcast, so let's get right into it.
Here's what is on the agenda for today's top headlines. 1. After the 2024 general elections, the massive political earthquake of the 2026 West Bengal assembly elections. 2. Mamata Banerjee in court and the intense protests on the streets. 3. The fierce fight for the Bengali language in parliament. 4. Exactly how the US-Iran war is causing your fuel prices to surge. And 5. We'll wrap up with the latest severe weather forecasts and warnings from the IMD.
Okay, Section 1. After 2024. The 2026 elections.
We are quite literally witnessing an unprecedented moment in modern Indian politics. According to the data and official reports from the 2026 West Bengal Legislative Assembly election, we've seen a complete historic shift of power. The Trinamool Congress, a party which has absolutely dominated the state for years, has faced defeat, and the Bharatiya Janata Party has secured a victory in the state assembly. Now, looking closely at the source material, you realize this wasn't just some sudden change of heart by the public. Actually, it was preceded by highly complex and deeply contested demographic shifts right at the ground level.
89 lakh, that is 8.9 million. Let the number really sink in for a second. This massive figure represents the names that were deleted from the final voter roll literally just weeks before this critical state election. According to reports from the Indian Express and The Guardian, this exclusion shrank the entire electorate by nearly 12%. This highly controversial deletion heavily shifted voter demographics and quickly became a major flashpoint between the ruling state government and the Election Commission. From a purely data-driven perspective, pulling nearly 9 million voters off the rolls right before polling drastically altered the electoral calculus, and that contributed significantly to the historic results we just discussed.
Moving on to Section 2. Mamata in court, protests on the streets.
So, let's look at the rapid timeline of events here. In May 2026, immediately following the TMC's defeat, Mamata Banerjee took a highly unusual step. At first, she flat-out refused to resign from her post as chief minister, claiming the defeat was driven by a conspiracy. Then, springing a massive surprise on everyone, she walked right into the Kolkata High Court around 11 a.m. But she didn't go in as a politician. She appeared before a division bench wearing a black lawyer's robe. Arguing her own public interest litigation, she fiercely contested police inaction regarding post-poll violence, stating her name had been registered at the Bar Council since way back in 1985. She urged the court to step in and protect the displaced people of Bengal from the ongoing clashes.
However, the scene outside that courtroom was incredibly volatile. As captured by multiple news outlets on the ground, when the former chief minister finally exited the Kolkata High Court premises, she was actively booed. Crowds, and believe it or not, even some lawyers, surrounded her, raising slogans of chor chor, which translates to thief. It was a completely chaotic and highly charged scene. It really perfectly illustrates the intense polarization and the raw public emotion currently gripping the state following these assembly results.
Now for Section 3. The fight for Bengali language in Parliament.
In the aftermath, Trinamool National General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee made a really fiery declaration at a recent rally. Listen to this quote. He stated, "If needed, we will speak in Bengali in Parliament. We are Bengalis, and we will never bow down." This is a very direct, very calculated retaliation. He explicitly called out the Assam Chief Minister's recent comments regarding the Bengali-speaking population. So he's framing this political struggle not just as a standard partisan fight, but as a fight for the very identity and dignity of the Bengali people in the face of national politics.
Banerjee also pointed out a fascinating shift in the opposing party's rhetoric. He claimed that to appeal to the Bengal electorate, the BJP has been compelled to basically abandon their traditional chant of Jai Shri Ram and instead adopt localized cultural chants like Joy Ma Kali and Joy Ma Durga. He used this comparison to argue that the immense cultural weight of Bengal is actually forcing national parties to bend to local traditions, and he vowed to aggressively push back in future elections.
All right, before we pivot from the political desk over to the national economy, I just want to take a quick second. If you appreciate this kind of clear, in-depth breakdown of today's most complex news, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel right now. Your support by hitting that like and subscribe button is absolutely crucial. It's exactly what allows us to keep producing these detailed broadcasts for you.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 4, Fuel Prices Amid the US-Iran War. This is the breaking news that literally affects every single one of us. Public sector oil marketing companies have just hiked the prices of petrol and diesel by 3 rupees per liter across the entire nation. This is a massive development, mainly because it's the very first price increase we've seen in over 4 years. Alongside this, CNG prices have also just taken a 2 rupee per kilogram hike.
Let's break down exactly what you'll be paying at the pumps today. If you are in Delhi, petrol is now going to cost you 97 rupees and 77 paise, while diesel sits at 90.67. And if you're in Mumbai, well, the pinch is even harder. Petrol there is at 106 rupees and 68 paise per liter, and diesel is up to 93.14. These are significant jumps, right? And they will undoubtedly ripple through the entire economy, affecting the cost of daily goods and logistics.
Now, you might be wondering why the sudden hike. Well, here is the why behind those numbers. The ongoing US-Iran war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz have caused global crude oil prices to surge by over 50%. Because of this massive global shock, Indian oil marketing companies have been bleeding money. They were losing a staggering 14 rupees on every single liter of petrol and an unbelievable 42 rupees on every liter of diesel sold. So, why only a 3 rupee hike at the pump? The government has opted for a staggered approach. If they raise the retail price to cover that full loss all at once, it would cause a massive, unbearable inflationary shock to the entire economy. So this 3 rupee hike is a carefully calibrated move to just partially ease the financial strain on the oil companies without completely crushing the consumer in one go.
Finally, bringing it back home to Section 5, Weather Forecast and Warnings.
According to the official bulletin from the National Weather Forecasting Center of the India Meteorological Department, which is our absolute most crucial source when tracking severe weather, some critical alerts have just been released for multiple regions across the country.
Looking at the IMD's main observations, it's really a tale of two extremes right now. First, there is a severe heat wave currently gripping the northwest parts of the country. We are talking about dangerously high temperatures, specifically isolated in pockets over West Rajasthan and West Madhya Pradesh. You definitely need to take precautions if you're in those areas. But at the exact same time, looking at the broader climatic shift, the IMD reports that conditions are highly favorable for the advance of the southwest monsoon over the southern Bay of Bengal and the Andaman Sea around the 16th of May. So, to sum it up, we are tracking extreme, punishing heat in the northwest and the much-anticipated approaching monsoon rains in the southeast.
Wow, we have covered a vast amount of ground today. From the staggering deletion of 89 lakh voters and a completely historic shift of power in Bengal, to a former chief minister arguing in court amidst angry street protests. We've seen the battle lines clearly drawn over the Bengali language in parliament, and of course, we are all feeling the direct economic sting of the US-Iran war right at the fuel pump. So the big question I want to leave you with today is this. How will these monumental, deeply interconnected changes reshape our daily lives and our country's future in the coming months? It's something we absolutely all need to watch very, very closely.
Thank you so much for watching this comprehensive edition of Mahakal Ki Samachar. I really hope this detailed explainer helped you clearly grasp the gravity of today's top stories. Before you log off, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll say it one more time for the folks in the back. Hitting that like and subscribe button is the best way to ensure you never miss out on our structured, fact-based news broadcasts. Stay informed, stay safe out there, and we will see you in the next one.